Welcome to Masimba Uncensored. 2025, man, is going to be an amazing year. I'm looking forward to speaking to all of you. I'm looking forward to making friends all around the world, especially networking around Africa. It's been a minute. How are you guys doing? How is 2025 treating you? Here we are, finally. I'm doing my own podcast, and there is a studio in Machakos. It is a new studio. So anyone who's interested in hiring the studio, doing some podcast work, being trained how to do a podcast, being trained how to be a presenter, just reach out. I'll hook you up. So guys, it's just one of those, man. 2024. Quite a year. It's been amazing being on people's podcasts. I especially love being on Jaguaro's podcast. We really get along. It's just, it's been quite the journey. This year, I want this podcast to be about just networking with people, talking about all different kind of topics, relationships, sexuality. I'm known as a controversial guy, but I don't think I'm controversial. I'm just a guy who talks about things that people don't want to talk about, things that are on people's minds, but they just don't know how to voice it. So I'm here to voice it for you. I'm really excited about 2025. You get to know more about me, how I think, what I really think about relationships, marriage, sexuality, how often you should have it, if you should have it at all, just things like that. But let's have it fun. You know, I'm that guy who loves a bit of humor. Actually, not a bit. I love a lot of humor. I love sarcasm. I love debate. I love the fact that we're going back into the world where we could actually have a debate. You and I do not necessarily have to agree, but we can have a debate. We can have a drink. We can have tea. We can have whiskey. We can have gin, whatever it is that you fancy. But we don't need to be enemies at the end of that debate. That's the kind of world I would like us to go back to. It's the kind of people I want to connect with on this particular podcast. People who understand that, you know what, we're not going to be the same. We're not going to agree on all the things. But let's agree that we don't need to abuse each other. We don't need to insult each other. We can have a debate. Do we have to agree? Not really. However, it's good to take people's merits. It's good to take people's professionalism and people's experience in that profession, whatever it is. I'm not a very big believer of everyone is entitled to their opinion because I've always given this particular example. If I was sat down with pilots, plumbers, Formula One drivers, yes, I have an opinion, but really, shouldn't I just shut the fuck up and listen to what they have to say? Because I'm not a specialist in that field. What happens is when you give everyone the power to speak, especially in things that they're not good at, then you're giving them the power to lie. You're giving the power to fake news. You're giving the power to people who do not deserve the power. And that is wrong. I'm totally against giving merit where it's not due. I mean, if you've got that punch, if you've got that knowledge, that know-how, then hey, I want to listen to you because you are the right person to listen to. Let's put it this way. If you heard there is a student who is learning how to fly and he's only been flying for 2 days versus a very seasoned pilot who has thousands of miles under his belt, has flown a plane from here to London, from here to Chicago, from here to New York, wherever it is, for years, yonks, who would you bet on? Whose plane would you get on? That's exactly how I want us to treat this particular podcast. January has been quite interesting in regards to people are having the same issues. I don't know if it's January issues or it's just the fact that regardless of where we are, we all have certain issues that are very similar. One that I dealt with was a woman who has been a side chick for a while. And now she has graduated into being a second wife. Or the husband left his wife for her. So she became the main woman, the wife. In the last 10 years, I've advised probably enough women, but 7 of them did not listen to me. And all I told them is this: your title as the side woman is far more powerful than the wife status in your dynamic, where you are trying to compete with somebody who already has the title. If the title was that strong, you would not be relevant. So look at your relevancy. That's how you stay in the loop of whoever you're with in this relationship. And what happened is, this particular scenario, the guy left his wife and he married this woman. They have a kid. Let's say they have 2 kids. Scenarios are still the same. But after a while, she realizes that this guy is replacing her with another woman. Why? Because at the end of the day, this guy was not looking for a wife. He was not looking for status. He was looking for a thrill factor. So when you're the side chick, you have the thrill factor. You have what it takes to keep him interested, to keep him lustful. Lustful energy is very important. Very important. So once you change your title, once you change your entire persona, that title changes how he looks at you. Perception changes everything. Hence why right now he has replaced you with somebody else, or rather replaced the title you used to have with somebody else, because that's his thrill factor. You're still relevant to his life, but you're the wife. And that's why I always tell people, whether you're main, whether you're side guy, side chick, it applies to all of us, myself included. Know your part, know how to do it well, know how to sustain it, know how to manage the interest without making somebody feel obligated. That's another thing, obligation. It kind of kills the thrust of the feeling of, wow, I want to be with this person. It can. The same way I usually say that lovey-dovey is not bad. If you're sat down doing, Netflix and chill and we're cuddling and stuff like that, there's nothing wrong as having that as an expression of how you feel about one another. But it's usually distorted when you take that into your bedroom. I don't like to hear I love you when I'm trying to make you squirt. It's one or the other. Which one do you prefer? There's a time for everything. When you go to a restaurant, do you have to tell the chef you love them so they can enjoy the food? Do you have to tell the waiter? Do you even have to talk to the food for you to enjoy the food? No. All you have to do is just put the food in your mouth, taste it, enjoy it, love it, or you don't love it. But when you do love it, you might compliment the chef. Hey, compliments to the chef. Nothing bad. But I don't see you trying to take the chef home. And that's the problem with modern life. That's the problem with the concept of monogamy. So guys, this was more of a, hey, I'm around again. Welcome to Masimba Uncensored. This is where you're going to hear about the things that you should be hearing. And like I said, I want us to have a debate. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.